All right, now we're doing 7Q, next featured number higher than a given value, right? This is by Raul BC777, and 87% of the people like it. So we're going to make a function that receives a value val and outputs the smallest higher number than the given value. And this number belongs to a set of positive integers that have the following properties. Their digits occur only once, they are odd, and they are multiples of 3, all right? They are a multiple of 3. All right, so basically, this is going to be pretty easy for these two here. The questionable one is going to be not these two here, but the questionable one is going to be this one right here. And also, if the number is greater than this number here, which is basically 10 nines, there is no possible number. We're going to return there is no possible number that fulfills those requirements, all right? So to deal with this digits occurring only once, we're going to use this set object, which lets us store unique values of any type, whether primitive values or object references. So it stores unique values, which means it only uses that value one time, or in this case, it's going to be per digit. It's going to be checking the digits to make sure they're unique. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So right here, we're going to get rid of this, and we're going to say we're going to start with a for loop and say for let I equal val, but we're not going to have val. It's going to be val plus 1, because sometimes the value will have all these three things going on at the same time, and it'll return that instead of the next one. All right, so we're going to do that, and so while I is less than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 nines, we're going to say I plus plus. All right. And now we're going to do an if statement. We're going to say if, and the first thing we're going to take care of is this set thing. So we're going to use this set constructor to make a new set, and basically all we have to do is say, with this syntax, new set, and then an iterable inside of some parentheses. And so we're going to say new set, and for the iterable, it's usually, and in this case it will be too, an array inside of the parentheses. So for the array, we're going to have value, but first we're going to have to turn the value into a string to start off with. So we're going to use the string constructor right here, which is used to create a new string object, and when it called instead as a function, it performs type conversion to a primitive string, which is usually more useful, and that's what we're going to use it for. So we basically just put string and then val in there, or I. Okay, so we're going to say string with I. So now we're turning I into a string, and we're going to put this inside of an array like this. But right now it's just going to be one element of the whole string of the value. But if we want to break it up into where each digit is in its own element, we're going to use spread syntax, which allows an iterable such as an array or string to be expanded in places where 0 or more arguments or elements are expected. So basically all we have to do is say ... in front of string I, just like this, and it'll turn this into an array with every digit of val in its own, what is that thing called, element. And if it wasn't confusing enough right there, the other thing about set is because it's an object, we can't do .length to check the length of it. So we're going to have to use this size thing, this .size accessor property, which returns the number of unique elements in a set object. So instead of .length, we're going to put after this parenthesis right here, we're going to say .size. And now we're going to say if this equals, and then we're going to do another ... string I, and then after the bracket we're going to say .length. All right, so if they are equal, that means that every number is unique in that number. So now we've taken care of that. Now we can say and I remainder operator 2, which means it's odd, and oops, that's not and I remainder operator 3 equals 0, just like that. So it's divisible by 3, all right? So if all this is the case, we're going to say down here, return I. And if not, we're going to say return this down here. There is no possible number that fulfills those requirements in a string. There is no possible number that fulfills those requirements. All right. Cross your fingers. Whew, good. Attempt it. All right. I didn't want to do that twice. All right. And so it works. It's pretty slow, but, you know, what are you going to do? Sometimes we get slow ones. Let's submit it. All right. And so this one does a while loop. And so, yeah, it goes minus this. I guess this is the next one down, 9876 below the number we put, but whatever, no big deal. And they did a match. They did a val.toString match and all this jibber jabber. I don't really want to translate that because, okay, it works. Cool. Anyway, here's a longer way and cool, and here's something else. And you can check them all out if you feel like it. Let's go to mine. Very much like it in my opinion. Excuse me, very much like it. Just me, best practice in my opinion, and we'll see you next time.